Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Welcome to Science and Environment series with Dr. Vedra. Topic for today's discussion is from biodiversity. India has formally adopted or you could say implemented the National Action Plan on Conservation of Migratory Birds. So we'll be decoding what's the significance of this move, what's the background of this theme, why the conservation is of migratory birds holds importance for India and the world. So without wasting any time, let's just decode the biodiversity theme for today, the National Action Plan on Conservation on Migratory Birds, because you have already covered the National Action Plan on Climate Change, which encompasses the 8 missions. So it's on similar lines. It will be on action mode. It has some objectives and key targets which have been set henceforth. So the implementation part is not going to be a challenging one to grasp, because we all know anything to do with the biodiversity or the birds or apes, we can say, it will be implemented by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So this is the environment topic, so there should not be any prizes for guessing that. Now, we have to we have to go back in history to understand why is India implementing it. So, if we go back in early February 2020, India was the global host of CMS, Convention on Migratory Species. It's a global wildlife conference which is not just limited to conservation of, you could say, the water birds which we do in Ramsar Convention, but all the migratory birds and animals. So it happens just once in 3 years. The last time it was the Philippines in 2017, which was the global host. And in 2020, India was the global host. So India will remain president till 2022. So it's trying to just take the opportunity given to it to the next level by even leading from the front. So India has formally what it had committed in that conference is now done the paperwork and now is in process of implementing the framework. So make sure you also go through the key highlights of CMS COP13. COP13 stands for Conference of Parties, because these are the frequent annual, you could say, the summits which are held once in 3 years, and it was the 13th summit once the treaty was signed. So in this year, India has formally endorsed 3 species, the Asiatic elephant, Bengal florican, and the Great Indian Bustard, which also happened to be the mascot of CMS COP13. So India's recommendation was accepted. All 3 species were added to the Appendix 1 of the convention, which holds the highest protection, and India also took the occasion to declare the elephant as the national heritage animal. So all such facts regarding the mascot, you could say the logo, as well as the key decisions taken during the highlight have to be memorized. Since the Gandhinagar was the host of the exact venue, so Gandhinagar Declaration had been adopted there. In Gandhinagar Declaration, it was clearly mentioned that India would take steps to protect the migratory birds, mainly through the Central Asian Flyway. So we are just now putting in process of implementing that commitment. So what exactly is this Central Asian Flyway? So you have to understand there are 9 flyways around the world where migratory birds are undertaking the hardest migratory journeys, either for breeding purpose or to reach food or to avoid the harsh climatic conditions. So in case you are not preserving the flyways, there is every possibility that those iconic bird species will eventually lose out, because they need both the habitats for their survival. The one is the original habitat where they are residing, but once the climate conditions, or you could say there are the drought the season approaches, those birds migrate to the distant side where for water and for other reasons. So in case if any of the countries is insensitive or is not preserving their habitat, that birds population automatically declines. So this Central Asian pathway, the flyway, has around 30 countries, and you could just go through them. They mainly are the European and Asian countries. They start from the Arctic Circle and end at Indian Ocean. So this is quite an important flyway which encompasses the steppes, or you could say the cold deserts, and even the Himalayan, the great young fold mountains Himalaya. So this is a critical habitat. For a reference, we can say there is a Amur falcon bird which takes the migration from China. It reaches Nagaland and then it is moving to the Ethiopia-Somalia region. So this is while a lot of birds are passing through this flyway, and it is said that almost 90% of the migratory birds or Central Asian flyway make a stopover or stay in India. So India has a key responsibility in preserving such birds. So the key objectives are not too technical one. They have kept a short-term objective to reduce the population. You could say they reduce the decline in population of migratory birds by 2027. So this is a short-term target, and they also aim at preserving the habitat of these migratory birds, which should be the agenda as well. So they have how they will do. They will try to protect the critically endangered habitats of this bird and also to prevent further damage to the basic habitats, and they will try to preserve them for long time. And also in the pipeline is to maintain a database of these birds and to track their migratory patterns so that we can just have an key data that which species need to be protected on urgent basis and how we should go about it. And also there will be a close cooperation between the transboundary states which are involved in falling in this route, so that the better communication can be there between them and better coordination to protect threatened species. So overall the objectives are noble and are more or less on predictable, and if you have to summarize, we can say they will try to arrest the decline of some specific migratory birds and also their habitat, because once you preserve the habitat, the species will preserve as well. And we closely know that there is a close contact between the migratory birds as well as the wetlands. So if you preserve the wetlands, you can preserve the entire ecosystem on which there is biodiversity and other associated benefits. So in a way, it will be a holistic concept which will try to get the maximum. And this mission has been launched on auspicious occasion of World Migratory Day, which happened to be on October 10th. So this was the right moment to implement this and put this plan into action. So make sure you also go through it, the major theme what was there for this plan. So make sure you also compare the Ramsar Convention with it, because at times when they will formulate a question, they might say it was on basis of implementation of Ramsar Convention. You have to be careful. So on basis of Convention on Migratory Species, which is popularly known as Bonn Convention or Global Wildlife Conference. And this topic has a shelf life of almost 3 years unless the next convention takes place in 2022, which is likely to be hosted by China. So and this broader theme, from Maine's perspective, you can say even it was invoked by the Union Minister of Environment, Prakash Javadekar, that we can say that Prakruti Rakshite Rakshita, which means if you protect the nature, nature will protect you. And also the principles of non-violence of Mahatma Gandhi are not just limited to the human beings, but also have to be extended to the animal life. So with this we conclude today's session on the biodiversity. I hope it was useful in some way and it brought you some useful insights for your examination. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.